This is how MAGA has become really more than a movement. It's become a personality cult for people who feel discarded by society. The rallies, the Facebook groups, the memes and the hashtags or whatever. They're not about policy. They're about belonging. You look at some of these MAGA people. There's this guy, Forgiato Blow, who looks like a clown. I mean, he's dressed up with a strange chin strap beard and a huge MAGA hat, and he's got chains that, his car is painted in Trump's face. It's about belonging at the end of the day. They look like morons, there's no doubt, but belonging to a tribe that's getting its meaning from who they hate and the orange man that they worship.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, really, that they wrap their identity so much in politics, and at the same time, they will ridicule people on the left who seem to wrap their identity just in politics. They'll mock the rainbow flag and all that. They'll say, oh, you make your politics your identity. That's ridiculous. But yet, that's exactly what they do, like this Forgiato Blow guy David's mentioning here, who admittedly I never heard of. It's ridiculous. They throw on all this MAGA drip, and it's like, yeah, what policies do you believe in? It's like no policies, really, barely any. It's just about worshiping the dear leader and hating the same groups of people.
And if you've been isolated long enough, and again, you might have people around you, but you're isolated economically, for example, the hate starts to feel good. It feels like clarity, power. It feels a silence. But the kicker is it's all fake, right? It's not real community. It's a closed loop of outrage. It's not friendship. It's a media ecosystem that exploits you. And Trump doesn't know these people. He doesn't care about them. He wouldn't recognize them outside of a rally. He spent his whole privileged life as a rich New York kid being kept away from the very people that now make up his constituency. But I think many of them would die for Trump because he gave them a story. It's a simple story. It's a comforting story. You're the victim. They rigged it against you. And the only person who has the solution is Trump. And then in comes...
Yeah, and the assassination attempt back in July really helped that for them, that they're like, oh yeah, no, this is a chosen one for sure. They tried to take him out and they failed. Yeah, this is the guy who needs to be the next president. This is the guy who's fighting the establishment. It's really unfortunate that these things happen that just give them so much ammunition. And they're like, yeah, no, this is a chosen one. They're able to craft a story really well. I'll give them that.
Fox News and Newsmax, and they just kind of fill in the rest. Everything wrong is the fault of Democrats and immigrants and drag queen story hours and the deep state. And everything Trump does, doesn't matter if it's harmful, it's either heroic or it's someone else's fault. Either Trump is heroic for a tax bill that will lead to 15 million people losing coverage, or it's someone else's fault. Yes, 15 million may lose coverage, but it would be someone else's fault. And what's dangerous is that this part of MAGA, this isolated, echo-chambered, antisocial wing, they don't want democracy. They want control, revenge. They want to feel something, even if it's hate, and they want to be the deciders. And that's why they cheer book bans, which seem to contradict their value of free speech. They threaten school boards. They idolize being cruel to people because group cruelty starts to become a sort of connection. So we should be restating some of the important facts here. Not all MAGA voters are literally loners, but MAGA thrives in loneliness. It feeds on people who are hurting, offers them identity through division, and it's never about fixing what's actually broken. It's let's identify something that's broken, even if you don't understand why, and I lie to you about why it's broken. Let's identify something that's broken or seems broken, and turn that into a weapon or a cudgel to go after.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Loneliness feeds into the MAGA types, and then they identify some of these false boogeymen and just go after that. They try to unite around it. It's not really about policy. I feel like Trump could not enact any types of policies that they say they want, and they wouldn't care. They would still support him. It's about owning the people they're against. And to be very fair, there are people on the far left whose far left views are somewhat informed by their own loneliness. It's not necessarily unique to MAGA. But the fact that we have an entire group around a political candidate that, loneliness does feed some of their angry, resentful views and unites them in their hatred of others. It's like, yeah, that's shocking. That's shocking. It's not really necessarily a fringe group either. It's like possibly 20% or so of the population, which is really insane. And 20% of the population in the US is not super far left. When I talk about far left people being lonely, I'm talking about a pretty small percentage, like less than 20. But yeah, some of these people who are really extreme politically, they get their political views, and their political views are reinforced by their own loneliness, which is really unfortunate. So show kindness to people, lest they turn into angry political extremists like MAGA. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching.